I'll start with the standard statutory statement. मेरा हिंदी डॉक्टर जगन्नाथ के जैसा इतना परिपक्व और क्लिष्ट नहीं है, इसलिए मैं हिंदी में बोलूँगा नहीं, मैं क्षमा चाहता हूँ. The other thing I wanted to say was that, I was here in January, and then again I am here in April. So since that wonderfully put together journal Ankur is a trilingual journal, I would like to say Ati Parichayad Avagya Santata Gamanad Anadaro Bhavati. So please, at least for the next 6 months, don't call me, because Ati Parichayad Avagya Santata Gamanad Anadaro Bhavati. As I say, it's always a great experience to be here, but for those who have to repeatedly listen to Dr. Anirban Ganguly and then the introductions given about him, I think it should stop after a point. Respected Madam Principal, Professor Krishna Sharma ji, I am extremely honored and delighted to be here, and especially to participate in this very august and unique annual event. And you have made this college, this entire center of education, you have turned it into an incubation center of ideas, of innovation, of efforts. And I really want to felicitate and to applaud the entire team and you for your leadership. I think it's a very important dimension of education. And I don't say to be educated, I don't say to be literate. To be educated also means ये जो आत्म समीक्षा करना निरंतर, this is important. To be educated, and I don't mean to be literate, is also to be able to applaud others selflessly, continuously. I think that is also extremely important. So I was listening to the applauses for the others. It could have, not for me. I'm saying when Madam Principal was reading out the annual report, I think we should all really applaud all the faculty here, the entire team who has kept this institution running and has kept it at that level. PGDAV, everyone knows what it stands for, what it aims at, and what it means. So thank you so much. My elder and well-wisher, Dr. Shobhaji, Dr. Sandhu, Professor Devinder Kumar, thank you so much for inviting me and then for giving me an opportunity to be with all of you. Now, I'll not take much time because I realize that I'm standing in between you and the award giving ceremony. And yes, so you can also endorse through laughter. So that is also one way. One need not always clap. So I'm happy that you accepted what I said. Thank you so much. It's very important. I'm sure students of history who are familiar with Ashoka's inscription. In one of his inscription, Ashoka says, to converse with others, to learn from others, to educate oneself in the dharma of others. That is called samavaya. That is synergy. And I think that's an extremely important cardinal dimension of education. So Ashoka asks us to be suneyu. That is, he tells us to listen. He tells us to listen and to take guidance and to become bahusutas. In Pali, that is bahusuta, it is bahushruta in Sanskrit. So we have to become learners through listening, and that is there in Ashoka's inscription. And therefore I say that we were always a knowledge society. India was always a knowledge society. India evolved innovative methods of teaching and of learning. And one can give umpteen number of examples. Since we are at a very sacred day today, I must remember Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, India's poet laureate and Nobel laureate, who said, he said that the civilizations of the East are permeated with two ideas: close touch with nature and close touch with our masters and teachers. I think that is what defined civilizational India. It defines our tradition, our parampara, our samaj. Friends, I spoke to you about India as a knowledge society. In fact, today is the birth anniversary of one of the greatest linguists and scholars of modern India, Rahul Sankirtayan. I don't know, I'm sure he was a polyglot, he was a polymath, he spoke a number of languages, and if you look at his writings, you will see his descriptions of Nalanda and of Vikramshila, which were centers of knowledge and of radiating knowledge. And in these universities, you had thousands of students coming from across the world and not only India. And you had some of the greatest teachers teaching, acharyas in these universities, who were well known across the ancient world, and these are all recorded. If you don't like, some have an allergy for Indian sources, so if you don't have an allergy for foreign sources, then Ising's records of his travels in India. He lived 11 years in Nalanda University. And he speaks about acharyas like Srila Bhadra, Shantarakshita, and Atisha Dipankara, to name a few, who were known across the ancient world as acharyas, as teachers. So I think, friends, and for example, in Vikramshila, you had 8 Mahapandits, 8 great teachers or professors. And then you had hundreds of teachers under them. And therefore, friends, when I say that that is our ideal, India as knowledge society re-established in the world for the 21st century, we have behind us examples which we need to derive inspiration from. Nalanda University has been re-established. Vikramshila University is also going to be re-established. Work has started. I think when we recover these symbols, knowledge symbols of our past, successful knowledge symbols of our past, I think we are well on the way to becoming a major and an important power. Now I just want to make another point, and I'm very happy. I don't think मैंने तो कहीं देखा नहीं ऐसा trilingual journal, और संस्कृत में भी I have not seen, at least I have not come across. I may be ignorant, but I have not come across, and therefore, interestingly, my few words that I wanted to share was on language, was on the richness of Indian languages, and I would urge all of you to make it a lifelong habit. I grew up learning about 5 languages, which I can speak, I can write. I would urge all of you to make it a lifelong habit to learn languages. And Prime Minister Modi says education system every country reformed its education system according to its national values and goals. And the end goal is to make the youth future ready. And a very important segment of the national education policy is social justice through languages. Erstwhile in the past, you had to know English to be able to be recognized or stamped as being educated and well informed. That mindset is gradually receding, and it has to recede. Because we are a country, we are a civilization of languages. You name me any luminary in India, they knew more than 1 languages. They were masters, not only knew, they were masters of those languages. And so, education in the mother tongue is initiating a new form of justice for students in India. It is a very significant step towards social justice, is what Prime Minister has said. Now, when talking about the richness and heritage of Indian language, please see, there is a false debate. You belong to a generation, we belong to a generation of language politics. You belong to a generation where language politics is passé. You have technology in your grips. You are learning new technology. You are innovators. You are young innovators. You are achievers. You are young thinkers. You are going to only improve and enhance yourself. And therefore, don't get stuck into frameworks of the past. Look at frameworks of the future, create new frameworks, and be the creators of those frameworks as well. And therefore, language is extremely important in India. And I'll just quickly run you through a few examples, and I hope you'll be able to identify yourself with them, because today my message is just one. My suggestion, not my message. We are not in a position to give messages. I feel messages, great people give messages. We can just give suggestions. Please learn as many languages. You'll then realize what Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat means. You have the club here. You will then be ambassadors of Vikasit Bharat. Unless you can, when Swami Vivekananda was called a condensed India, he became a condensed India. India was in him because he went around India. You go around India, you learn languages, and you identify yourself with this great and diverse country. And you are never then straitjacketed. So I'll just run you through with a few examples and then conclude. I'll not take long. The Hindi department in Shantiniketan. I would like the Hindi Vibhag to also celebrate this, because as I say, there is a false dichotomy on languages that is attempted to be perpetrated in this country. It is non-existence. 1938 को गुरुदेव रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर ने हिंदी विभाग का शुरुआत किया शांति निकेतन में, और उस समय हजारी प्रसाद द्विवेदी जी को उन्होंने विशेष आग्रह किया था, और हजारी प्रसाद द्विवेदी जी ने पूरा सिलेबस वहां का उन्होंने तैयार किया। और पंडित क्षिति मोहन सेन वो और बनारसीदास चतुर्वेदी मिल के इसका नींव रखा 1938 में हिंदी विभाग का। एंड द हिंदी डिपार्टमेंट इन शांति निकेतन at that time used to have the largest collection of Hindi book and literature anywhere in India. And that was Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, and he himself had and studied medieval Hindi literature and saint literature. Now, if you know this bit of history, it was for the first time in 80 years since the founding of Calcutta University that Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore was invited to deliver the convocation address, and he insisted that he would deliver the convocation address in Bengali. For the first time in the history of Calcutta University, in 1937, Gurudev delivered the convocation address in Bengali. The Vice Chancellor was Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. And so therefore, this quest, every mind, every thought leader that we designate or identify as pillar of modern India were Bahubhashis also. They spoke many languages. Now, you must have heard of Mahakavi Subramaniam Bharati. Mahakavi Subramaniam Bharati and Sri Aurobindo. They are all educationists. I am taking names only of educationists today. मैं और किसी का नाम नहीं ले रहा हूँ, किसी भी अन्य क्षेत्र से किसी का नाम नहीं ले रहा हूँ, मैं सिर्फ शिक्षाविदों का नाम ही ले रहा हूँ. Subramaniam Bharati, Mahakavi, one of the greatest poets of Tamil language and literature of modern India. And Sri Aurobindo would discuss the Vedas. Sri Aurobindo introduced him to the Vedas and Upanishads, and Subramaniam Bharati introduced Sri Aurobindo to the Tirukkural and to the Tamil saints, Vaishnav saints, Alvar, Kulasekhara and Andal. Sri Aurobindo learned Tamil and translated their poems. And Subramaniam Bharati learnt Bangla, and he translated Rabindranath Tagore's poems in Tamil. No conflict at all. No conflict, absolutely nowhere visible. Suniti Kumar Chattopadhyay, one of the greatest linguists that India has produced, the chairman of the first Sanskrit Commission, wrote books on Tamil. One of his most famous books was Dravidian, published by the Annamalai University. And he was also given Sahitya Vachaspati Samman by the Hindi Sahitya Sammelan in Prayagraj. No conflict. He was a Pandit of Tamil also, and being a Bengali scholar, he was an equally well versed in Hindi as well. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, I don't know, I discovered it some time ago. I don't know how many of us really, I did not know it. Baba Saheb Ambedkar was working on a dictionary of Pali. Till his last days, he was learning Pali. Somebody like him with that huge intellect, gigantic intellect, library, his books, every book nearly 400 pages, learning Pali very assiduously, not only learning, putting together a dictionary. No conflict. Therefore, friends, I say, Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, in a very interesting article that he wrote, he said, in Bengali, he wrote, the spread of education. He said, anyone who has mastered their own language and immersed themselves in its literature would not only wish to teach it to others, but would also like to learn other languages. In any country, such a situation is always desirable. The dharma of literature and language is to unite people, he said. The darkness of ignorance which blinds human vision and divides people can only be dispelled by the light of literature and language. His father, Ashutosh Mukherjee, was a very accomplished Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University, modern educationist, jurist, thinker. In his tenure in Calcutta University and in the 1930s, you must have all been in your previous birth, and we too. That was an era when you could not think of learning Indian languages at all. English dominated. In Calcutta University, he started Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Odia, Assamese, Maithili, Tamil, Telugu. All this was started at that time in Calcutta University. So I think I'm just trying to make these points because we should make sure that we have no cobwebs. When we are aiming at 21st century India, you are leaders of 21st century India, you are going to shape this country in the next 25 years. You are going to plan its policies, you are going to decide its fate, and therefore we need to decondition ourselves. I want to end with a wonderful quote of Sri Aurobindo's. It is a quote which was very favorite of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's. Sri Aurobindo himself was a principal, he was also an educationist. He was vice principal of Baroda College. And Baroda College was extremely important in those days because Maharaja Sayajirao Gaikwad had actually started universal education, initiated. In his effort saw Baba Saheb Ambedkar successfully go abroad to do his PhD. And so Baroda State was a very important education center. Sri Aurobindo was vice principal and later he became principal of the National College. So when the students were giving him a farewell, because he had resigned from his principalship and then he was about to get into full-time politics, that is the freedom movement. So Sri Aurobindo told them something very interesting. And I just want to leave you with that. I think after that there's nothing much to say. So when they felicitated him, when they gave him a farewell, when the students gave him a farewell, he said, I wish to see some of you becoming great. Great not for your own sake, not that you may satisfy your own vanity, but great for her, for making India great, to enable her to stand up with head erect among the nations of the earth, as she did in the days of yore, when the world look up to her for light. There are times in a nation's history when providence places before it one work, one aim, to which everything else, however high and noble in itself, has to be sacrificed. Such a time has now arrived for our motherland, when nothing is dearer than her service, when everything else is to be directed to that end. If you will study for her sake. Train yourselves body and mind and soul for her service. You will earn your living that you may live for her sake. You will go abroad to foreign lands that you may bring back knowledge with which you may do service to her. Work that she may prosper. Suffer that she may rejoice. All is contained in that one single advice. Netaji derived a lot of inspiration from these words. We continue to derive inspiration from this, each one at his or her age and time. I would urge you also to reflect. These words were spoken in 1907. And against these words, if you remember the goals that we have, that is the goal of developed India, removing traces of a colonial mindset, औपनिवेशिक मानसिकता, यही तो कहते हैं, take pride in our roots and culture, virasat, unity, that is Ek Bharat, Shreshth Bharat, and the sense of duty, kartavya. So these are the words I wanted to leave you with. Removing the colonial mindset, it's very important to challenge foreign indexes about India also. That is a very key component. And therefore, as a Bengali, I see the Bangladeshi is actually getting into an unhappiness index. Jada se jada unhappiness index बढ़ रहा है. But we have to be open. We have to keep our minds open. Any framework, anything that challenges our essential outlook, tries to hit at our self-confidence, must also be challenged. So thank you so much. Thank you very much for your patience. And I wish you all the best. Namaste.